Hello, I'm Pete Cantu, the Mayor of Plainsboro Township, and I want to welcome you to another Spotlight Special. I'm delighted today to be here today to talk about what's going to be the newest addition to Plainsboro's healthcare campus. That's Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, which is opening a new facility shortly. And I'm delighted today to have with us two representatives from that facility, Amy Lambert, who's the Vice President of Operations, and Doug Carney, who's the Vice President of Facilities. So I want to welcome you to the show. Maybe I'd start with you, Amy, if you would, and talk a little bit about the CHOP network overall and what that represents.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. We're delighted to be here. The CHOP Care Network is a network of pediatric care that was developed as far back as 1994. It expands both the states of New Jersey and Pennsylvania, and it's comprised of over 50 locations. We're delighted that we're expanding our presence here in the Plainsboro area with a specialty care center where our pediatric subspecialists provide care for children close to home in the community.
You're already here in a way in Plainsboro Township. What led you to come in a bigger way to Plainsboro?
Well, we do have a location nearby, but we found that, for a variety of reasons that locating in Plainsboro made a lot of sense for us. When we're thinking about new locations, we look at a lot of data, a lot of facts as to what feeds into our decision. And not only did Plainsboro make a lot of sense with the pediatric population that's here, the needs of the community, how we want to serve the community, but also our affiliation with the Princeton healthcare system made sense for us to locate in Plainsboro.
Well, that's great. We're delighted you made that decision, and we're delighted that Plainsboro represented a good place for you to be. It's going to be, I know, a great addition to our community, but not only the community, but the entire region. I've had some personal experience with CHOP, and they're a wonderful organization and a great hospital.
Thank you.
So we're delighted to have you here. I know I speak for a lot of people in that regard. Can you tell us a little bit about what services are going to be offered out of this facility?
We will open with about 14 different pediatric subspecialists serving the community. Everything from pediatric cardiologists, pediatric neurologists, general surgery. The list goes on to 14 of those pediatric subspecialists. But we'll also have some ancillary services, meaning diagnostic x-ray, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech and audiology, all located in one building, so it's convenient for folks.
Oh, that's great. Can you tell us a little bit about the facility and your plans as to when it will open, and also a little bit about what your plans might be for the future?
Sure. Well, we're delighted to be here, and we're delighted to be developing in Plainsboro Township. The facility is approximately 25,000 square feet in its first phase. It's actually designed to be quite expandable. We expect that we might be in a position to expand based on demand for services in several phases. First would be to almost double its size to about 50,000 square feet on still one floor, but it also has the capability to double again to almost 100,000 square feet on two floors. So we've got a lot of future capacity built into the current design for the site. The building is one that picks up our architectural cues that use kind of colorful and playful glass that reflect both the main hospital as well as the ability to deinstitutionalize a building for children, at the same time making it easy to find your way to the front entrance and find your way through the building.
Well, it's not completed. I think you hit a home run with that, because I go by every day and with my wife, and my wife comments every time she sees it about how nice it is.
Thank you.
And the fact that it does represent a warm, I guess, inviting atmosphere for children, and which is a great thing. Can you talk a little bit, maybe it's Amy, can you talk a little bit about the relationship you have today and how that relationship will continue with the Medical Center of Princeton at Plainsboro?
We have what we call an affiliated partnership with Princeton healthcare system, whereby CHOP physicians are providing inpatient care in the hospital in their neonatal intensive care unit and also in the pediatric inpatient unit. Also, our hospitalists who provide the care in the inpatient pediatric unit do provide consultations in the emergency department should that be needed, case by case specific. So that is the affiliation. It's upwards of 5 years in existence now, and another 5 in planning. So we are it's been a wonderful relationship and partnership together.
Sounds like it's a win-win situation
is.
for both organizations, and that's great. You're undergoing I guess you continue to undergo expansion in your Philadelphia base. Is that, how's that going?
We have several projects underway that are not actually much different than what we're developing here in Plainsboro. We've got a similar project in King of Prussia. We're developing a project in Concord Township, west of Philadelphia, and another project in South Philadelphia, all of which will provide similar kinds of services. And the strategy there, along with the care model that Amy's described, is to create facilities that in the past may have been viewed as outpatient facilities that were more like doctor's offices. And now we're looking at them as more reliable facilities so that they're much more likely to be available in times of crisis, and as care shifts away from the main hospital, they'll be more consistently available, and it's something that Amy and I are collaborating on throughout the network to make the entire network more consistently available so that appointments can be kept.
And we do have a significant building going up on our main campus right
That's
now
right.
that you might want to.
Sure. We're currently building a 700,000 square foot building called the Berger Center for Advanced Pediatric Care. That's also an outpatient facility. That would be for much more complex care, and that building will be finished in 2015. And we'll occupy about 2/3 of that building, and then over the time period from 2015 to 2018, we'll actually fill up the rest of it.
Oh, that's great. So your expansion is taking place both in your main operation in Philadelphia, but also in other locations, including Plainsboro.
Exactly.
That's right.
You talked before about the 25,000 square feet you're building and about the potential to expand in the future. And I was pleased that when you came before our planning board, you sought approval for the full build-out, and we're hopeful that your success here will accelerate those plans to build that full build-out.
Well, and that's a big part of our strategy. We don't always seek that kind of approval because, as you know from your position, municipalities are very careful about the growth that they approve. But in this case, you know, Amy and the institution is quite optimistic about our need to grow, so we sought that approval for the full build-out.
Oh, we're hopeful that optimism is rewarded. I'm curious, how many doctors do you plan to have here, either on a full-time basis or part-time basis, or visiting, I guess?
Well, exactly. So the physicians that see the patients, or will see the patients here in Plainsboro, also see patients on our main campus. So it is the same care that you're getting at the main campus, and we think that that's important for families to know. It provides a solid continuity of care for families. So on any given day, it could vary anywhere from 5 to 7 physicians, but upwards as many as 10 or so on a given day, depending on what services are there at the time.
Do you anticipate any needs for increased staffing here? I mean, it will be hiring, do you think, when you open? Or?
Yeah, so there are a few expanded services in this facility. I mentioned radiology, speech, and audiology, and that will encompass a few additional staff members that will be needed. But for the most part, to open, the majority of the staff will be moving from our existing presence nearby.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Tell me about the big question, I guess, with you probably,
Okay.
is when is it open? And are you on schedule?
That's the big question for Amy,
Amy.
for sure. Yes, we're on schedule. Our construction manager is Driscoll, LF Driscoll, and they're doing a great job for us, and we expect to open in January of 15.
Oh, that's great. Well, I want to congratulate you on a great project, and I know that it's shared not just from me, but by all the people in the area, the community, and the region, and welcome you, and we're very excited and happy to see you coming to Plainsboro and providing those kind of services you're going to provide.
We're glad to be
So I want
here.
to thank you for being with me today, and
It's our
in a
pleasure.
Spotlight Special, and I look forward to a January opening. I hope I'm invited to come over.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Absolutely.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Mayor.